So there was a particular, pharma expansion situation, okay, where we had to laterally hire about 1,000 odd,
Oh,
uh, field personnel. When I say field personnel, it is basically MSRs, okay, with experience and first line, second line managers, sales managers. And of course, then there is a marketing and those kind of things. So there were different estimates that some people said, maybe it would take 5 months, 6 months. So I started, questioning or challenging that can we scale it up? Okay. And then the production experience came handy. So, okay. So are we talking only in terms of only one production line? So can we have multiple production lines? So when I say production lines in this context, it's interview
okay.
processes. Okay. And how many, for example, how many HR professionals we have? How many sales marketing professionals we have? Huge. Okay. So why don't we train them? Okay.
Very nice.
Okay. In the interviews. Okay. Can we create standard funnel of questions? So FAQs, what are the right answers? What are the wrong answers? Can we create, I would say, elementary funnel, okay, of selection or rejection, so to say. So this in sales, we have this funnel concept, right?
Correct,
So exactly all those principles from sales marketing we got in. And, within 3 months, okay, we recruited 1,200.
Very nice.
We had a price point control in our industry in 2017 when our product prices were capped in the market.
Okay.
So our distributors could not sell the products beyond a certain cost.
Okay.
Earlier they used to just mark up.
Correct.
Right? And this was the mandate by the government.
Okay.
So we had to bring the price. So the products which were sold in the market were kind of completely had to be taken back because they were sold at a higher price.
Okay.
So there's no scope of, you already consumed in the market at a higher price and you have to now sell at a lower price. Second, it happened in the middle of the year. So the business plan had to be reworked.
Oh.
And imagine in the middle of the year.
Okay.
The biggest draw which came in was the capex for people. Now what do we do? Because we have to meet our business plan with a lower output. And what do we do with the manpower? The only way we could do is immediately reorganize ourselves. Look at, in our industry, we were catering to A-class cities, A-class customers, giving us revenue because the margins were high. Immediately go to B and C class cities, expand our portfolio to B and C cities, which were completely not catered. Large customers could be catered by relationship managers who were huge. Accordingly, increase the span. While increase the span, you look at 3 supervisory layers, reduce 3 to 2.
Okay.
And 1 supervisory layer completely removed, and people who are very high cost but good with relationship would be handling those specific customers completely. And some of the people, because of the performance, could be, could find alternate paths. And the whole game was changed by the structure.
I actually made a presentation to the board that this is what I will do, and most of it was wrong. I think 60% didn't really was happening.
Yeah.
Yet it was something which made them believe that this person is one person who has brought something so prepared. So
who has the
that
hunger?
was. So
See, as an organization, one of my organization, has been evolving into newer, I would say, work areas, right? And these are fundamentally, more into, software and product development side. And hence what was happening was we were, of course, going and hiring many of, those individuals, those teams were building up. And we realized that, some of our policies, which earlier were, standing good for us, were no longer so relevant, right? And I think when I got back into that and realized, I think it took me and the team to first understand, what has changed in the business, which is really necessitating for us to, relook at the policies. And so did, quite a bit of, groundwork in terms of understanding, hey, how that part of the business works, right? What are the realities in the market? What does competition do, right? Getting all that data piece and then realizing that, okay, fundamentally, few fundamentals about this business are very different from maybe the existing one. And hence, we need to relook at that. And so then when we went back to the business in suggesting, certain recommendations about policies, having understood, what are the nuances of this business, it was much more appreciated. And I think also they took much more interest in ownership.
And I always realize that as a functional head, as an HR professional, I may have 15 years or 20 years of experience and have worked with various industries with the best of the top 5, top 3 consultants, but I still need to collaborate. I still need to keep my HR hat and understand what my the other CXO or my business partner.
So we were planning to set up a one, you can say, new business line. And then I was the one who got that resource in the organization to convince him, because you understand when you're hiring a people in the, you can say, same business line, it is easier to attract because you are well established. People love to get associated with you. When you're hiring somebody from, let's say, something which you want to start from the scratch, from the zero, and then attracting that person, showing the proposition to that person, so why he or she should join the organization, and finding a right talent.
I think it's very important to really get into the nerves of the business, because that's what the DNA is. And point is, initially, or I would say, nobody as such is going to really forcibly tell you that you need to really know the business. But the point, it gets reflected in the actions. It also gets reflected in the way the leadership or the business is also going to really look at your function and also at you at an individual level. Because if there are some decisions which need to be taken at a business level, and if from a HR perspective, if we don't understand the linkages to it, then we probably will not be able to suggest something which is making
in terms of to be able to connect the people and the business, because there is no business without the people. Let's understand this. Yeah. So who is going to achieve our targets? End of the day, it is the team's people. So what do they need? And I think that is, if you're able to bridge that gap, I'm sure the people function is not a supporter, it is the driver of business, I personally think.